Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Phoenix Draconis coming with you with another toy review video. And today's video is going to focus on Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy's Ultra Magnus. Now this big boy is a leader class figure. And originally I was not planning on picking him up. Yeah, mostly because it seemed like it was going to be a rehash until I saw some of the retools on there. And as you can tell from the open window, and especially on the box art itself, it is very similar to, yes, it is very similar to the Siege version, but with some minor differences, making him more Earth-based in terms of his vehicle mode. And especially in his robot mode, there's a lot of differences between the two, especially around the chest sculpt and the head sculpt in this case. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at him through the box. I want to go ahead and please excuse the glare. I'm doing my best to try and get that remedied, but as you can tell, that's not going to do it. So there we go. Okay, so there is a little bit of glare right there, but nonetheless you're able to see his face. And I'll have to go ahead and take him out just to go ahead and show him off, but nonetheless there he is with the great artwork that this line has been producing. Very, very nice. Of course, you know, even with the artwork they left, they could have gone ahead and illustrated some more closure on that, but hey, that's fine. And of course, you got the marvelous artwork that is shown on throughout the whole trilogy here. Very nice. I'm liking it very, very much. And then of course you have his product shots, and man, I cannot wait to get him opened up. So let's go ahead and take one final look at him. And of course, I don't know if anyone noticed it, but on this side where it shows off his robot mode, you see the arc right up in center. Now, however, I kind of wish they didn't have him so high up, considering that the arc had crash landed at the base of the original volcano. So, yeah, details. Now, for anyone that is curious, because it has been shown in the wild, but not a whole lot. And for anyone that's wondering, where did I get this one? Along with Air Razor, which I reviewed previously, and about most of the figures under this War for Cybertron line, I pretty much had gotten these when they were revealed during, PulseCon, last year or the year before. And man, I have been, I've been slowly but surely waiting to go ahead and get these. Now, like I said before, I originally was not planning on getting this figure. So to have him here is a surprise even for me. But yeah, I wound up getting him after the reveal, about maybe a month or so later, and he was available still for pre-order on Hasbro Pulse, so I wound up getting him through them. But I'm pretty sure they're still available through some of the online sellers. Again, I'm not sure. I'm just assuming in this case. But if they are available, by all means, get him. Especially if you want to get this variation of Magnus. So, like I said, as we're going to take one final look at the front of the box, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and get him opened up. All right, folks, there he is out of his box and ready to rumble here. And I have to say, I was totally wrong about this figure. I mean, granted, there are some similarities, especially concerning, certain parts of him. But at the same time, you can see a lot of reworking, especially around the chest, making him very, very G1. I'm going to zoom in on the face. And yeah, definitely a G1 look, especially around the head sculpt and around the face. Very, very wide, not as thinned out as it was in the Siege line, but very nice. Nonetheless, I mean, wow, I'm very impressed with him, and I have to say I'm grateful that I did pick him up after all. Very, very nice. So I'm going to zoom out just a bit and lower this down. Now, of course, you do have his, his shoulder missiles, which are on the side here. There we go. And I have to say, I mean, like I said, they are very nice, very nicely molded. A lot different from, from the Siege version. Very nice. The side, or I should say, the shoulder, extensions. Very, I can't stop saying very nice because I can't think of any other word. But you can tell on his shoulders, a totally different, different mold here. Now, it looks like, I think in the process of getting him out of the box, because they have so much of the plastic strap on him, I may have inadvertently scratched that, but nothing that cannot be fixed. Me personally, I'll probably put an Autobot sticker on here, so no big deal. It's just a little scuff, and I'll show that off because I'm that much. See, as you can tell, so that was scratched up, and it was using this over here, the X-Acto knife, to cut out the plastic wrap. But like I said, it's no harm, that's fine. Not a big deal for me. I'm not gonna get all bent out of shape. It can easily be covered up. So but let's go ahead and take a quick look. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the sides. And this, for some reason, this seems a lot cleaner than the Siege line, And then of course we go to the back, and we have, looks very similar to the Siege line. And I am going to bring out the Siege Magnus, but you'll see a difference with the Magnus butt, because you got part of the Earth vehicle on here, and I have to say, I think the color also is a little bit darker than on the Siege line. And as you can tell, this is very clean. Now, one thing I did notice, they actually put, some paint applications for the rims and everything, which is cool. They did that with Siege, which is also awesome. I like that. And, man. Yeah, this is a much, much brighter white than the Siege line. So, man, oh man, that is looking boss, big time. Alright, so before we go ahead and jump ahead with articulation and such, I want to do a side-by-side comparison with both the Siege and the Kingdom Magnus. So give me a moment to bring him out. Alright, there they are side by side, and they basically are on equal footing. They scale side by side, very well. Other than this is more of a Cybertronian variation of our of our Kingdom Magnus. There are certain areas that were basically not just remolded but also repainted, such as this section here, or I should say right here, compared to what we see on Kingdom Magnus. Like I said, it's a lot more brighter, so there isn't any of the scuff marks or the battle damage that you would see on Siege. Like I said, remolding of the chest here and here, especially the face. The face and head sculpt are totally different, as you saw. So you got that. The missile pods and launchers are totally different. These up on his shoulders are also different. And then if you look in the back, you got the Magnus butt, and that is totally different. Let's see. One other thing that basically they omitted completely is the extra weapons that Siege Magnus had. You don't see it with Kingdom Magnus. So I think that was a good thing that they had done, mostly because he was loaded to bear with weapons, and that is, not having so many weapons is a good thing in this case. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn these guys around. Oh yeah, and unfortunately, this particular Magnus that I had, it's not the original one that I had originally when I first reviewed this Magnus. I wound up selling him off at my last purge. So what I wound up doing was I wound up getting this Magnus. Second hand. So the legs are a little loose. Unlike this one, this is pretty stiff. And that's because I just got him out of the box, so that's all good. So with all that being said, let me go ahead, change the camera angles, and then we'll go ahead and look at articulation and transformation. Alright, so here we are once again with only this Magnus on here. And now, one other thing I did forget to mention is his primary weapon. It's basically the same weapon, just a much more darker, I don't want to say silver, but sort of like a mixture of a grayish silver. So that's another thing I wanted to mention on there. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at its articulation. So his head is on a type of ball joint. So he can look up a little, look down a little. He can turn his head 360. So, as Imgo is normally saying, he gets a little bit of wiggly waggly. His arms can do 360. His arms can also go out. He does have upper bicep swivel. His arms can go around 90 degrees. And he does have wrist rotation, though on mine's it's extremely stiff. But you know what? As I've always said, a little stiffness doesn't hurt anyone so long as you're able to manipulate it without breaking the figure. Now, moving on, he does have, I want to say he has waist rotation. There we go. He does have waist rotation, though, because of, and I'm going to lift up this arm so you can see. You have this piece right here that kind of, kind of hits this little part right over here. So you may have to lift and then twist, lift and twist, if you want to get that waist rotation. His legs, oh, that's nice. His legs can go up about almost 90 degrees. Can't kick back because of his Magnus butt. He does have about little under 90 degrees of knee bend, especially in this mode. Now, unfortunately he doesn't have ankle tilt. Mostly because his feet are already molded to have that wide stance, which is a good thing, but he still runs into the same issue as Siege Magnus, is that you will see this in vehicle mode, and I will show you that momentarily once I start transformation. However, other than that, this is a very, very good figure so far. I'm liking it. I've got no problems with it. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and zoom out just a bit. There we go. Ta-da! Trying to hide the green, or not the green, but the pink hue of spilt energon on the floor. So other than that, there we go. Much better. All right. So other than that, that is about it. So before I go any further, let me go ahead and make some adjustments on my end, and we'll start with transformation. Okay, thank you for waiting. So, in this case, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take off his weapons. So you can tell this was originally a red molded piece, which was painted very, very nice. Of course, it does have that hollowness issue. But it is what it is. And then, of course, you got the missile launchers, looking very, very G1-ish. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take off his armor. Now, it's very similar to what we had done, in the Siege line. So we're going to start off with the forearms. As you can tell. Oof. Damn, this thing is tight. Alright. Ooh. Now I'm going to take this portion off. Off, damn you. Oh, goodness. Oof, goodness, what the heck? Alright, well, before we go further, let's go ahead and take this chest piece off. There we go. Now, one of the things about this is that this portion right here snaps along the spine here. So you do have to be careful because it is a pain in the rear. So alright, so whoa, sorry. I also have Siege Magnus here as well, so we're going to go ahead and try this arm. Try and get this out. Oof. This thing is tight. So give me a moment. I'm going to go ahead and try and take off these shoulder pads off camera. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. I do apologize for that little delay. These are very, very tight. So please be careful when trying to take these off, because the last thing you want is to, break the figure. Now, at this point, we're going to go ahead and take, there goes a shoulder pad, and I think one of the missiles blasted. Come on, get over here. Anyway, so one of the there we go. Once we got these off, I'm gonna go ahead and open the side panels here. And we gotta also pull down this piece, which will rotate, and open up to reveal the head. And once that's done, snap that in, push this up, and then you have Magnus in his transformed mode here. Now, let's see. Okay, so one other thing that we also need to do, we need to raise this piece up. However, this is kind of a tricky thing, because this has to go up and it will not. It used to, I'm certain of it. I'm actually taking the opportunity to, or maybe not. I thought it did at one point. I'm certain that that back piece went up. Yes, it does. Okay, so see, I'm going to show you the instructions. So this back piece right here, that's supposed to make up the Magnus, but also becomes his back. It's supposed to lift up. So you need to go ahead and do that. But like I said before, for some reason, it is not doing it. So, and you know what, just to, so I won't accidentally snap the head off. Ah, there we go. Now you want to do it. Oh, that's probably why. Okay. There we go. Now we got him in his White Optimus robot mode, and I have to say that is pretty nice. So let me bring out Siege Magnus, and goodness, and I'm also having issues with this one as well, because damn it. I'm sorry, folks. Give me a moment. Alright, folks. I had to go ahead and adjust the camera angle and everything. So there he is, both of them side by side. You can tell the major differences between both of them. In this particular case, though, there are a lot of similarities, but at the same time, there's definitely some major differences, especially around the chest area, as well as the head. And you can tell, even though there is some silver on him and around the face, there's pretty much plain white, and this crest here on his helmet is now silver, and his faceplate has a much more darker blue, as well as the windows here. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of differences on there. And like I said before, I was able to get this portion back up. However, for some reason, this wound up, yeah, this will not go up at all. So I'm not sure why it will not go up. It used to. I do recall that. And I mean, I'm looking at it, so I'm not sure why it doesn't want to go up anymore. So I'm not going to worry about it. But like I said before, this is pretty good. I really like how this turned out. You know. There we go. Very nice. I mean, I cannot say anything less than that. Alright, so give me a moment to make some adjustments in terms of the camera angle and whatnot, and we'll go ahead and continue on with the transformation process. Alright, I am back. Sorry about the long wait there. Anyway, so what we're going to do at this point is we're going to go ahead and start off with transformation. Now we're going to go ahead and open up this section, and we're going to pull this forward to give clearance, or I should say this whole section should have gone forward, as a matter of fact, to give clearance for this. Once that's down, we push that back, and then, first thing, before I forget, yet again, we gotta pull this crotch piece down. We gotta go ahead and open this up to put the head back in. Once that's in there, snap that back, and now we're gonna go ahead and fold the arms back. Oh, sorry. Forgot. We gotta turn this around. Now we're gonna go ahead and push this forward. That should, and I do say, yeah, that should line this hole up. Now, once this is done, we're gonna push this back in. We're going to go ahead and put the arms back where they're going to peg in. There's a peg right there. It's going to go into that slot there. Ooh, there we go. And come on. There we go. And now we're going to go ahead, put the hands down like so. And we're going to do the same thing like we did before. And put the hands down like that. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and move the feet down, and it's going to peg together with this peg. Ta-da! And there we have him in his cab mode, which is very nice. I am liking it. Though, of course, he's going to have that visible head syndrome. Now, there is a workaround to cover that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and untab the arms here like so we can go ahead and take care of that now. Because that's one thing that a lot of people are going to gripe about, is that is going to be shown. So all we're going to do is we're going to put these filler pieces, and that peg that you see right here is going to go through the hand, and the hand's going to hold it in. So once that's in there, we're just going to go ahead and peg it in, and there we go. Now I know it's not going to be all that apparent, you know, but it will show off. Now, one thing I really wish, honestly, I really wish they had done both versions of Magnus in where when he transforms, you know, like Optimus in a way, and that way, you know, you still see him in the car carrier mode. I'm pretty sure there had to have been a workaround for this. But hey, I'm not the manufacturer. Now, one thing that I am, yeah, for some reason, this wheel's not spinning. The others are. Oh no, the front wheels are not spinning either. What the hell? Okay, that's gonna take a point off or two. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and put him in the back. We're gonna go ahead and get started on this section. So we're gonna go ahead and push in to lift this portion out. We're gonna go ahead and just basically, like Siege Magnus, just gonna go ahead and just have everything all folded out. Now we're going to take these two pieces, this gray piece here, we're going to go ahead and pull out on both sides. Ooh, damn, that's stiff. And now we're just going to go ahead and snap these two together. Now, as we go along, we're going to go ahead and put these pieces together. So once this is done, we're going to go ahead and slide this, and this little section here that you see right between the legs is going to hold it. So, and let's see if we can get that. Come on. There we go. Alrighty. So as you can tell, that is in there. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and fold. Now there is an ankle toe for those wider stances. I didn't show that to you earlier, but as you can as you will be seeing in a moment, this is going to be a problem, and I will show you in a moment. So like Siege, we're just basically going to untab everything like so. Going to do the same for the other part here. And there. Now, what we're going to do using this and this, we're going to basically, these are going to be tabs that are going to go into this slot right here and this slot right there. So that is going to go in and there. Now, there is a slot right here where my finger is. It's going to connect to this tab right there. And then, of course, there is a type of tab that's going to slide right there. And there we go. This little connector right here is going to slide right there, and that's going to hold that in. So far, so good. Now, we're going to go ahead and do the same on the other half. So we're just going to go ahead and slide that in. And there we go. Alright. And I'm going to tap that in. And just, there we go. If it stays in there. All right. So this is what I was talking about earlier. In this mode, these are supposed to, he's supposed to be a car carrier. So this is supposed to flip down, but it does not. This is all one solid piece. And then this is supposed to be like a type of bumper, but because of the way they are built and angled, they didn't take into account to give him toe articulation to where it folds up a bit. So that's another mistake they didn't correct in this mode. However, we're going to go ahead and move on. And these little tabs right here are going to snap into this section here and here. And then just going to go ahead and, whoops, really, there we go. Okay, hold on, something's not right. Come on, man. There we go. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and try and slide that puppy back in there. Okay. Let's say, I think I got this backwards. Okay, so we're going to try that again. So we're going to slide this in. There we go. We're going to go ahead and... Oh, I'm taking the trailer out of frame, so... Okay. So we're going to go ahead and snap that in there. There we go. Alright, so I'm not sure if you're able to see it. There's a couple of tabs on our side. They're going to connect to this tab right here. Okay, hang on folks, there we go. So there is a tab right here and there is a slot for these gray pieces here. So once that is in there, there we go, and there we go. Now all right, so that is in there. Now, because there is no hitch, oh, almost forgot. Whoa, blasted. Hang on, folks. Now, as you can tell, I got them both transformed, and man, oh man, they are as different as night and day, as you can tell. Though they do have some similarities. Like on this one, it does not turn. He does have, I want to say he normally will have visible hand syndrome. The only difference is that I did put the forearm covers on there, so you don't really see them all that much. In this case, the same thing occurs with this Magnus. So as you can tell, this time around, unlike his siege counterpart, this extends out, which is why this cover is on there. So it's a little bit of a fix that I found online, but all in all, I mean, this is a really good looking vehicle. The only difference in this particular case is that I had, during the course of transformation, one of the missile pods or missile launchers had flown off, and I'm not exactly sure where it's at right now. So I will find it. It's just going to take me a while. But all in all, the transformation is very similar to the Siege one. So it's not that much of a stretch, other than the physical, both in robot as well as vehicle mode. Do you see some retooling and whatnot? So on a scale of 1 through 10, I have to say that this will wind up being, I have to say, a 9. The visible hand syndrome is still going to be there. Luckily, I saw a type of toy hack in a way where you use the forearm covers to cover that up, so it gives it the illusion that that his arms are not showing. But that's another thing too. Why Hasbro didn't originally create a white variation for Magnus and then build the armor around that, it would have been a lot more simpler to do in this particular case. But I'm not sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the vehicle mode, but at the same time they could have made it a little bit more. They could have made it better to where it would have allowed, just like a regular, car carrying truck, where it turns and, it allows the trailer, the adjustment. Because I work, in my regular job, I work in an area where I see, tractor trailers moving to and fro. And for it to just be stationary, that is next to impossible. Imagine the wide turns on that. So that's just me, hinting and whatnot. But other than that, I mean, I know that I have, or I should say, I've had friends who have seen this out in the wild. I wound up getting mine, as I stated before, through Hasbro Pulse. And it was a good investment. I'm glad I picked them up after all. But other than that, what is your take? Have you picked this up? And if so, do you like them? Do you hate them? Leave me your comments in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Even ring the bell icon or click on the bell icon so you can receive notifications on when new videos are coming up. So other than that, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching. This is Phoenix Draconis, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace.